Welcome to the Tracy Dent Show. Orlando broadcasting legend Tracy Dent stops by to talk sports with his unique perspective after decades on the air in Orlando covering sports. Now, here's Tracy.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the Tracy Dent Show here. Just finished our hour with Track Shack with Sue Smith, and filling right in for executive producer Jerry Daniels shows up here. And last time I saw him, he was standing in the middle of the marathon course in Boston. So welcome home.
I'm getting more phone calls on that.
Well, if you got your loudmouth gear on and you're in the middle of a marathon course, you certainly would be doing that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think I had about 27 people call me up and ask me what the heck I was doing.
Yeah, you were standing there. I don't know what you were doing like that. Anyway, we'll be talking to John Hughes on our Track Shack more about the Boston Marathon. And a special guest next week, too, Greg Meyer, who was the last guy to win the race, the last American to win it back in 1983. And we hooked up for some races back in those days. And I talked to Greg today, and I know John and Betsy talked to him over the holidays. And he's going to be on our show. He couldn't be on tonight, but he's going to be on next week, and we'll talk more about that and catch up with Greg, one of the great American runners of all times back in the 80s and 90s. But anyway, I got a special guest in the studio who, too, with Gerald, comes in, too, about a program called Drive for Men's Health. Dr. Sijo Parekattil, I'm going to say Dr. P. How's that? I was close, though. I almost had it, Dr. P.
Sounds good.
From the Pure Clinic out South Lake. So tell us a little about this program you got going on here.
So, guys don't like to go to see the doctor at all, and that's the bottom line. And we're trying to come up with creative ways to change that. And we thought it'd be a great idea to get some guys together and focus on cars, do a car show, do a drive. And we've teamed up with Tesla, and our plan is to try to set the fastest time from Clermont all the way up to New York City. And we're going to start off at South Lake Hospital in Clermont. This is on June 12th, between 7:30 to 8:30. The takeoff's at 8:30. And along the way, with the electric cars, we have to charge every 100 to 150 miles. So at these stops, we're planning on having experts from various institutions doing talks on different men's health topics, and basically trying to start a conversation, get guys talking about these issues. And we're going to do that all the way up to New York, and we're going to drive 23 hours straight. So it'll be on webcasts, and the website is Drive for Men's Health with the number 4.
All right, so let me get this right. Tesla, electric vehicle. They have to charge every 150 miles. So obviously this is an adventure in its own right, leaving the zip code.
Absolutely.
And then so you guys will have planned stops. Yep. Not really enough time to sleep. So I'm assuming there's relay drivers.
It's just the two of us. So
okay.
we're gonna take power naps in between.
Okay.
And, but basically,
very quick power naps.
Exactly. My partner is Dr. Jamin Brahmbhatt, and between me and him, we'll try and make this and try and complete this in one shot.
Okay. Now I'm hoping you've predetermined your charging stations, of course.
Yep. So on our website, we've got kind of the whole pathway in terms of where we're going, where the stops are. We're basically going up 95 all along the East Coast, and these supercharging stations are right off the highway. At the supercharging stations, it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to charge. So that's a good amount of time. We're going to have 2 or 3 speakers, and we're actually going to have some of our former patients come out to talk about their experiences, and hopefully that'll encourage guys to understand that they're okay. There's other people who suffer from these same conditions, and it may be okay to go in to see the doctor and take care of yourself a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, but
you get to my age, you have to do that, Dr. P. And by the way, I saw one of these cars in person. It's in the parking lot at the club the other day. It's a really cool car. The other thing I was going to tell you is before I ask you about some of the points you're getting to, that you charge it every hour and a half, unless Jerry Daniels is driving a car. Then it might be about every 45 minutes. We had to stop and get that thing charged.
Well, that's the other question I have. You're up and down 95. You guys compensating for what 95 is famous for? Traffic?
We've got some backup plans.
Okay.
We've got a few extra cars and drivers, and we have 2 crews that are coming with us.
Okay.
But you're right. This is going to be an adventure in itself, and we're hoping that we get there on time.
So I'm thinking 150 miles. So what you're stopping probably somewhere south of Jacksonville, maybe?
Yeah,
Jacksonville area.
Yeah, basically we stop Port Orange, St. Augustine, Savannah, Santee, Rocky Mountain, basically all the way up the eastern coast, Delaware.
Wait, Santee.
That's in,
You're hitting south of the border there with the big.
Yeah, it is. But at least, he knows where they are. This is a big issue, isn't it? I mean, for men, I know myself, I'm like that. I did have my physical last month, but I know that's a big deal. I mean, you just don't want to go do that.
It is. It's just so hard to get up and go. I mean, that's the bottom line. And so we want to try to demystify it a bit and make this more comfortable for patients to come out and talk about these issues. And we also want to give them access. So we thought, what a great way. We're planning on doing this every year. And the plan is this would provide a source where patients can go to the website. They can, let's driveformenshealth.com. They can check out and get resources. You know, all these speakers are experts in their own fields. And so we're hoping this would provide a great resource for them. But the bottom line is just to start that conversation, get them thinking about, hey, you know, maybe I should do something a little bit better, take care of myself a little bit better, go in and get checked out. You know, unfortunately, men are still... Actually, women are twice as likely to go in to see the doctor compared to men. Yeah. So we're trying to create this as a movement to change that, and we're hoping that this will keep growing, and every year we'll keep going.
We're talking to Dr. Sijo Parekattil from the Pure Clinic, Dr. P. So this is there a website where people can keep track of what's going on?
There is a website. So our main website is Drive for Men's Health, all in one, all together, and it's the number 4, not spelled out, so just 4. Driveformenshealth.com, and we have an Indiegogo campaign. We're trying to raise funds for doing some genetic studies on men's health and trying to support scholarships for the new Florida Polytechnic University in Lakeland. And there's an Indiegogo site, and that is www.d4mh.com.
Okay, I'm not going to let you get away with that. That's the spaceship that landed along I-4 just near Lakeland. Is that the Polys?
Yes, it's an amazing building.
Oh, my God. Have you seen this thing?
No, where is it?
It's so freaking cool that Dodge actually filmed their trucks driving around it during construction and made a Dodge truck commercial.
It's a Santiago Calatrava building, and you know, very unique looking. And so what we're trying to do is create a new engineering school in Florida that you know, can really stimulate us to be a leader in the sciences as well and technology. And so we're hoping that half of the funds will go towards scholarships for kids hoping to attend there. And so hoping we can kind of invest in our community.
So this is all pretty on the way. You go to the website, you get all this information.
Everything's on the website. So again, www.driveformenshealth.com, and then the Indiegogo site is www.d4mh.com.
Is there one condition that's people are unaware of how aggressive and how much it's grown in the population? That there's something you guys really need to make a point about?
Well, I mean, you know, the big ones are, you know, prostate cancer, heart disease, diabetes. What's unique about our practice, the Pure Clinic, we focus on men who have chronic testicular and groin pain and male infertility. So those are two topics that you know, people don't really like to talk about a lot. And so,
conditions caused by marriage doesn't count, right? You guys don't help with that at all?
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to help with that.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. I've been there, done that. I have managed.
How much? Do we need to know?
Yeah, no, I'm fine, man. I'm doing for a guy that's walked out from a physical. I'm doing good, but I know I didn't want to go. I never do. I say, okay, I feel great now for the next year, 6 months, whenever for my other prostate exam. I said, okay, I'm good. I'm okay with that. Then you say, Dad, gummit, I don't know if I want to go do that or not. So it's a great cause. I'm glad to hear that you're doing that, and I'm really happy when people get into the media and start talking about those things that make it. Because if you do that, it makes it a whole lot simpler.
It's just that, you know, we want to make it a very comfortable and easy, approachable you know, access for patients so that they feel comfortable reaching out. And we've got a website for the clinic called www.mypure.org, and it's MYPUR, and that's our clinic address. But the idea is that, you know, these are confidential issues and things that people don't really like to talk about publicly. So we do Skype consultations, phone consultations, just so that guys can get a feel of what it's like to talk about these issues, and then decide whether they want to come in or not.
All right.
Yeah, good. Dr. P, just hang in there with us a little bit if you want to. Say we're going to be talking a bit more, and we're going to have John Hughes coming up here in a few minutes. He owns Track Shack, and he's been a participant in the Boston Marathon on several occasions, including this past Monday when he went back after the 2013 fiasco, the catastrophe up there. 36,000 people showed up to run the race, and Meb Keflevsky, and I don't know how this works out like this, Jerry, but here's an American guy that wins the race in a time when this type of thing, when we need an American to win that race. And here's a guy that ran it, and he ran 2:08, and there's some fast runners in the field, and yet he won it in 2:08.
And it was almost man and woman.